Hello, Aries. How are you? Today is July 28th. Here's your reading for the week. Sorry this is a little bit late. We were traveling yesterday and things got crazy. You know, when you travel on a Mercury retrograde, also this is considered our hot time for travel in Italy because it's holidays. So it's a pretty quiet week, astrologically speaking. Venus moves into Cancer. Sun is in Leo now, as we know. So that's a different shift. You may feel a little bit more, you'll find more pleasure, let's say, doing like dinners at home as opposed to going out and meeting people. So it's a little bit of a quieter time. And then, of course, on Friday, we move into August already. So we'll see what that brings us. Let's go ahead and get the overall energy for the week, for the Aries watching this video, for the week of July 28th. Energy for the week. Okay. What do we have here? Oh, nice. Transformation. The butterfly, of course. Now, this is a metaphor. It's actually just science that I bring up a lot on this channel, is that transformation is not an easy walk. Like, it's not a beautiful day at the park and it happens. You have the caterpillar that becomes a chrysalis that then has to struggle to get out of that container that it's been in order to then become its new self. And it's through the struggle of getting out of the chrysalis that they build the strength to fly. So we've been talking a lot about challenges recently, and that they are not there necessarily to harm, but to help, and to help you strengthen your wings. So now what this says, since we're seeing the butterfly end of the transformation here, is that you may start to see very strong and powerful clues that actually you're starting to be on the other side of it, right? Or that maybe that realization that you've been having in the last couple of weeks that we talked about, realizing that something wasn't for you, or that you needed to move away from something, or that it wasn't at your level, that now you're starting to see that's like sedimenting, right? And you're starting to not only, sometimes we do something, we're like, okay, I know this isn't what I want deep down, but I know it's the right thing, so I'm going to do it anyway, even if I don't totally believe it. And this to me says that now you're like, okay, so I made that move. I was hesitant about it. And now I'm actually starting to see the proof that this was the right choice, that had to happen. Like, so we're definitely on the other side of some sort of change right now. Let's see what else comes out. Can I get the challenge energy for the week of July 28th? All right, of course there's, oh my goodness. Transformation card again. But there's two cards here, right? So behind the transformation is the abundance card. So that's what I'm saying. It's like you're so these are coming up in the challenge things. So what you may be seeing first is the shocks and uprooting that come with the transformation, but behind it, and it's with this card, right? They came out together, the King of Pentacles. So starting to see the fruits of your labor, why it had to go down this way. So it's still not necessarily over, but it's not far behind, right? The sense of abundance and the sense that everything, and here we have this butterfly. Oh, we have all these sort of things echoing. We have the wings here and the colors here. So this is very nice energy, actually. Exciting. We love that. It's always a tough read for us, isn't it? Let's get the lesson. I get the lesson for the week of July 28th for the Aries watching this video. Okay, nice. Expansion. And this one you have, so you see this guy's like, there's some communication or something. Something's coming in, right? That shows that things are starting to light up, to fire up. And that she holds kind of like the world in her hand here. So this is, to me, paying attention to the clues, because it may come in directly. Like it may be a third party kind of, not third party in the cheating sense, but like a friend of a friend told, or your the CEO told your boss, and this turns into a raise, you know, kind of things like that. That it's not necessarily coming to you directly, but there is an indirect connection that causes this flame to ignite and causes this sense of expansion here. So far, all very, very nice cards. Yay, I kind of want to like hang up now, but let's go for it. Let's see what the tarot has to say. Okay. All right. Starting with the Nine of Swords. So really up in your head about something. But coming from the past, right? And this is I think this is like the energy that we've been having for a while. The Hermit, lots and lots of thinking. Let's get one more card, please, for the week. And those are both nines. Okay. Interesting. So these are both nines, right? And what this says to me is, because, you know, this is like sort of higher self energy, and this is what we feel on the earth here. It's that you may have put yourself in a timeout to think about something, but what needed to happen, like I said, the universe was kind of pushing you to see, can't see it because you're up in your head, to see the truth about a situation, right? And there's that fire again. To see the truth, or to see your expansion, or to see this for what it is, or to see what had to get burnt away, or to see what needed to ignite, or what needed to spark up. And there was a time when we were kind of like up in our heads, but the universe was really trying to transform this information to us, as we have through these two transformation cards. And now her head's up. This is kind of like the, you know, the cup of emotional happiness, satisfaction, full heart, right? And so we go from here to here. This is where it starts and this is where it ends. And what's in the middle is this beautiful transformation card here. Right? That we have now transmuted this energy from concern and worry. And it may be that nothing's actually happened yet, but that you've chosen to see it kind of from a spiritual perspective as opposed to an earthly perspective. And just that simple shift in reframing has made you live the situation differently, right? Where you can kind of live it from less from a mental state of anxiety and more from a state of full heart. Now let me go ahead and get you some final advice from my Mercury retrograde deck. All right, I'm going to take this, but I'm going to get one more. Oh, okay, all right, this deck was just waiting to chat. So what we have, okay, interesting. So we have two very specific schools of divination here. We have astrology and destiny, and then we have palmistry and interpretation. Now let me read both of these to you. This one is usually a call to get a reading from an astrologer. or to understand. It's about really understanding the bigger patterns, right? Instead of seeing things from a sliver of life moment, that no moment is standalone, it's all connected, right? And so being the astrology, when you take a step back and you look at the entire map of your life, you're actually able to understand, okay, this is why I've been dealing with that theme in my life. Like I feel like I keep going around and around the same argument, and you do, but the point of that is that you go around and around the argument like a spiraling upward staircase, that each time you see it from a different perspective and you learn more. Now this one says, you have an important life purpose and are here to shine brightly. You have always felt different and special and known that you were meant to be big. Trouble is, life has gotten in the way. Even though you have felt a calling, you don't actually know what it is you are meant to do. Before you were born, you chose the exact time of your birth and the date to determine who you would be in this lifetime and what you came here to achieve. Your astrological sign, stars, and planetary movement all play a big part in your life. Yes, you can create your own destiny, but it's the stars that point you in the right direction. So go seek out the astrological map of the journey of your life. For by doing so, many answers will be revealed to you. And this is interesting because I was thinking this week about maybe doing like how to read your chart class here. So if anybody's interested in that, can you let me know in the comments? Like if there's enough of a cohort to put together, I'll do it. In the meantime, if you want to know your chart and you don't know how to do it, you can do it for free at astro.com. You just have to know your birth date, place, and exact time of birth to get a very specific reading. And then the things you want to look for, you can also Google, the main interpretations. This obviously the sun, moon, and ascendant. You want to read the ruler of the ascendant, and then you want to check your north node and south node, because the south node is where you come in from a past life, and the north node is where you're going. So that's your sort of journey through this lifeline, is coming in with certain skills, but having to acquire the opposite set of skills. And that's where your struggle will lie, in getting from point A to point B, because they are opposites. And so that's where I would sort of start out. Not only will you be fascinated, you will also find that which you have been searching for all this time. So the incantation says, star of wonder, star so bright, my soul doth shine both day and night. I look up through the galaxy and step into my destiny. And it says, visit an accredited astrologer to have your astrological chart read, enjoy stargazing, learn about the planets and how their alignments affect you, take bold steps towards your chosen destiny, and go for it. And then this one, palmistry, let's read that. It says, too often you draw conclusions that leave you feeling upset or frustrated, but your reactions are due entirely to your own interpretation of what others say and the situations you find yourself in. Adopt a new way of thinking. Remember, and that's what I said before, that really even if there hasn't been a monumental shift in the actions, there seems to be a shift in mindset or perception of how things are going on. That instead of feeling like, oh my God, my life is condemned, understanding that like, okay, this is clearly like a spiritual moment pushing me to learn a very specific thing. And this allows you to process the situation in a very different manner, right? I had a whole situation recently that's been plaguing me for 3 years, that mine always last about 3 years. Yay. And they always come to me through romantic entanglements, let's call them that. And I realized that this last one was really about being firm with boundaries, not only with people I don't care about, because that's easy, but enforcing boundaries with people I care very deeply about, and knowing when to draw the line and knowing when to step back. And so understanding that once I was like, oh, okay, that was the lesson, my whole perception of that interaction changed. So adopt a new way of thinking that will help you embrace life and live it to the full. That's why you're here, after all. Spruce yourself up in appearance, if you will, but definitely in mind. Embark on a task or journey with a new and positive attitude. Grabbing opportunities with gusto and purpose will turn your life around, and you will find you achieve more than you ever have. Soon you'll notice that others' attitudes towards you will become more affirming as yours will to them and to anything else that comes your way. Okay, and the incantation here is, I resented what I saw. Life was dull. I wanted more. I read the wrong way into things, and that's this card here. Now I read them right, and my heart sings. Okay, so that's exactly what this message is. I love it when this deck wraps it up. So what you deem as bad is another man's good. Nothing is all black or white. Look at the situation through different eyes. Visit an accredited palm reader. They're hard selling that. Consider where life has taken you and make changes if need be. This is the other thing that drives me crazy is I have a bunch of people, let's say in my universe, that love to complain about where they are, right? And it's kind of like a national sport here. But they don't make steps to change it. My ex-husband used to do this all the time. He would insist on going to the same place that he knew he didn't like, and then would spend the entire time complaining about it. And I was like, okay, we got to do one of two things. We either stop complaining or we stop coming here, but we can't do both because that's nuts, right? And we have the definition of insanity from Einstein is the doing the same thing again and again and expecting different results. So if there's an area of your life where you're like, every time I go there, this terrible thing happens, do something different. Don't go there. Or accept that there's a piece of that wants to go there because you're using it as a channel to feel bad or using it as a channel to feel better about other things. But wherever you're kind of like finding repetition and things that are making you unhappy, and this is kind of like about the astrology that I was saying before, understanding that may be part of your karmic package, right? And it's never going to change. And so complaining about it just makes you feel bad. Or take the step to do anything different. It just takes, I can't remember the name of the Japanese word for it, but it's just one, is it Kaizen? It might be Kaizen, where like even the smallest step over time becomes a significant transformation, but that nothing can happen unless, so if you move forward in a straight line and you move that degree or you move that trajectory by 1 degree over time, that becomes a completely new direction. And so it doesn't take gigantic movements, right? Usually our transformations, when they come in gigantic steps, are actually quite painful. It just takes one step in a different direction to put you on a whole new path. Okay, hope this was helpful. Have a great week, and I will see you next time. Take care.